Hey guys, how's it going? Michael Troy here. Today we're looking at Crazy Super Special, Crazy Magazine number 82 from 1982, sporting this beautiful John Byrne X-Men cover. John Byrne and Terry Austin. It's so cool. Cannot wait to share this with you. So subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button and let's get right into it. So, in the 70s, well, I don't know when Mad Magazine started, but, it feels like the 70s, late and 80s were like humor comic strip magazines, cartoon magazines were very popular, like Mad Magazine, Cracked Magazine, and I think there was one called Stupid. I don't know. Like, some were short-lived and stuff, but, obviously Mad and Cracked were two of the big ones. And Crazy was, like, Marvel's humor mag, like National Lampoon or something like that. Mostly doing superhero stuff and their own stuff. Obnoxio the Clown, the amazing mascot for Crazy. I was more like into serious superhero books. My brother loved a lot of the humor stuff, and he was a huge fan of Crazy. So my big experience with it was mostly just reading his issues. So this should be fun. I got this for the John Byrne cover. This is so cool. It is a gorgeous cover depicting, the best roster of our favorite X-Men. Terry Austin inks. This is from 1981, guys, so how cool is that? There's this great zibbatone over Havoc's face. I just love it. It's very, it's funny, I've been talking about, like, things that make comics unique and everything like that. In a way, this is homaging Giant Size X-Men #1. I mean, because, the new X-Men are sort of bursting through the page and, sort of breaking that fourth wall in a way. John Byrne was this planting the seeds? Did you always have it in you for She-Hulk, like a breaking the fourth wall kind of comic? I've seen here John Byrne, his cartoonish style is a little anime or a little manga influenced, very cartoonish, but also very classic superhero. And I love to see when he does things like this. Like, he did a lot of contributions to What the Marvel's Humor Mag, and so when he leans into that cartooniness, like this big, it just gives me a special thrill because I just think it looks fantastic. I mean, Byrne infamously did like some guest work on Funky Winker being, a comic strip. So, I mean, John Byrne, it's definitely in his wheelhouse. And some of these characters just look so great. So, Byrne and Austin, I don't know who colored it, but I love the colors here too. It's really like more painterly kind of colors, which look very sophisticated, like in 1981, especially compared in contrast to like the flat colors of the normal comic book covers. It kind of makes me wonder why they didn't try this a little more to sort of jazz up the covers, because I think it looks really good. But I am a fan of the flat colors, and I really do love this. This Havoc looks amazing. I love this. What a great piece to the John Byrne, Terry Austin prolific portfolio. So there's a lot of humor going on here. Cutout figures, crazy super special. Like, it's a super special, 80% new stuff plus classic reprints. Just, humor and comic strips, and just Take a Letter to Crazy. Better Mike Wheeler. I don't know. Do some of these names sound familiar? You never know. Like, a lot of people who went on to become comics pros were like letter writers. So I have a letter, I think, in the 4th issue of Powers. If you care to, just for a little bit of, what do you call it? Trivia, Anyway, a parody of, Fantasy Island. I mean, that was very Mad Magazine, parodying movies and TV shows. So, does it say who the artist on here? The credits are very sketchy in this, so I'm going to try to point them out when I can. But some of them just don't have them listed. Writer Dana Cadison and artist Alan Kupperberg. Well, how cool is that? I mean, we know Alan Kupperberg. Great. Also did a lot of traditional comic book art as well. I feel like he definitely, must have had that cartoony side about him. So it's really fun to see his work. I love the original Fantasy Island. I could never stay up late enough to watch it, but you know, whatever. Fun, fun, fun. I love this black and white art. I mean, does this not look like Mad Magazine? Obviously, it's the same ilk. Teen Hulk. I had forgotten all about Teen Hulk. And it's so cool that script by Jim Owsley, also known as Christopher Priest, art by Bob McLeod, and lettering by Ditto, which means that he did the lettering himself. Bob did the lettering too. Of course, we know Bob McLeod from, you know, New Mutants, co-creator with Chris Claremont. Great inker finisher, worked a lot as an inker and finisher. He has a very distinct style that I really love. And I didn't associate him with Teen Hulk in the past because I kind of forgot all about Teen Hulk. And so it's really cool to see his art here. Very cool art, right? It's kind of funny. I love it. The fighting sister and brother. And he says, how about a new, or he's like, what are you bringing us back, Daddy? And her brother's like, how about a new body? You could use one of those. And she's all, watch it, you. I don't know. It's just silly. But kind of really super love this page here. Like, he drops out of this shuttle. And, of course, there's, like, this mid-air transformation into Teen Hulk. And hello, Marvel, Disney, whoever, whatever. Like, first of all, let's bring up Noxio the Clown in. Like, it could be, like, very horrific in an It kind of way. And Teen Hulk. Now that we have She-Hulk, let's bring back Teen Hulk. Love this version. I think this is so cool. This is my favorite panel. I love all the vertical panels on this page. I love it so much. Very funny. I don't know. I mean, obviously, the humor's dated, you know. Dad's mowing the lawn with an apron on, and the guffaws will fly. The dizzying fantasy and the disastrous reality. Writer and artist Mary Wilshire. I love Mary Wilshire's art. You know, she did, let's see, the Firestar miniseries, a little bit of New Mutants work, was inked by Bill Sienkiewicz. I really like her work. So it's really cool to see her in here. This is kind of fun. Writer and artist Mike Carlin famously left Marvel. I think Jim Shooter fired him, if I remember correctly, just because he kind of wasn't really doing his job. But then he went on to much success at DC as, like, the Superman editor. And I think even he admits, like, he needed the ass kicking, if I remember correctly. Try not to quote me on any or all of that. I don't know, but this is a lot of fun. I love this. It kind of makes me like him more because it shows that I have this feeling that a lot of writers, editors, letterers, anchors, colorists, I feel like everybody wants to draw comics. You know what I mean? If you love comics and you wind up being a creative in them, chances are you've made your own comics at some point. So it's kind of smacking of that, and I love that. I love the black and white format too, because this is still back, you know, with hand inking and a lot of, you know, since this is black and white, you're going to see a lot of, like, this duo shade and these screen tones and stuff like this. Alan Kupperberg, artist, writer, Virgil Diamond. A lot of the writers and some of the cartoonists are unfamiliar to me, so I'm thinking they're coming from, like, other cartooning circles, like Kovacs. Let's see, Steve Smallwood. See, never heard of him. Writer Susan Bissett, Auntie Nuke. I'm really gonna have to sit down and, like, thoroughly read this because I got it for the John Byrne cover, obviously, but I mean, this looks like the gift that keeps giving. I really love the different art styles happening here. Oh my gosh, love this. Just talked to Wendy Peeney how she hates drawing a crowd shot, and who does, aside from George Perez? And I love this. I mean, they're totally worth it, though. You know, when you pull off something like this, is always amazing. I mean, you can't deny the sort of impact that a double-page spread of this proportion would have. A Crazy Looks at the Crazy Office. I love this. I love all the behind-the-scenes inside peek at the, what do you call it? You know, the bullpen, if as you will, or at least the offices of editorial. We have Jack Kirby art coming on to this. I don't know if it's getting boring for you, if you've fallen off, but there is something to look forward to coming towards the end. Oh my goodness, you guys, if you're a fan of my channel, and I know you are, this is the inevitable point in the comic And it's usually an Image comic where we have to turn the book sideways. And I never mind because it's always an artistic choice. Love this art. This is so cool. This art looks very familiar to me. A is the signature. I don't know. I'm sure I've seen that artist before. And I'm loving this Kovacs. Very, very like... I almost feel like, and it very well could be, is this like the cartoonist, like... Not that I read, and I can honestly say... Listen to my voice. I can honestly say that I read Playboy for the cartoons. And this, I feel like, was one of the cartoonists that was featured in there. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But I'm living for this art here, too, by Stephen Miller. That does sound familiar. I don't know. What's happening, A, B? Is it just numbering? As promised, you guys, here comes I mean, who knew Jack Kirby contributed to Crazy Magazine number 82, right? I don't know if this is a reprint or not, but I love it. Spider-Man Surprise Extra. Now, the other thing that makes this interesting is that Jack Kirby was originally supposed to be the Spider-Man artist, but he just couldn't pull it off, or Stan Lee didn't like it and liked what, Steve Ditko brought to the table more. Ow! Oh my god, how cool is this, you guys? So not only is this written by Mark Bilgrey, with apologies to Stan Lee, drawn by Jack Kirby, and inked by Steve Ditko. The historical ramifications of that are not lost on me. That has to be noteworthy, right? Has this ever happened before? I don't know. I'm completely shocked. I'm in complete shock. And it does look amazing, doesn't it? I'm wondering who's slapping down, like, the ink washes. Maybe Ditko? What do you think, guys? That's interesting. That is, like, not great right there. That sort of makes it look like he has, like, ripples in his head. I'm just, like, so blown away. I love that. Give me, like, a Spidey parachute. Like, I just, like, that is so ridiculous and absurd. I love, like, that's what I love about old comic books, in a way, because, I mean, it was all new and fresh at the time when they're, like, initially doing these things. Like, I just think that wouldn't work. I mean, this is a humor book, but, I mean, Spider-Man famously did stuff like that all the time. And the Human Torch with, like, these fire sculptures and fire circular saw blades or something. What the hell is that? This is beyond amazing. This is so good. It's beyond amazing. It's beyond fantastic. It's beyond spectacular. It is beyond friendly neighborhood. It is so good, and I love it so much. This is epic. Freaking Fantastic Four and Spider-Man by Steve Ditko, inking Jack Kirby. Drink it in, y'all. That's pretty freaking amazing, right? Arnold Francione. I love discovering new artists. I feel like I'm moving into, like, this cartoony phase, or just wanting to discover, cartoonists that I haven't known before, or dig deeper into some of the cartoonists that I love already. So feel free in the comments to recommend some cartoonists to me that you like who are some of your favorite cartoonists that you think that I might like or I should look into or perhaps cover. I'm totally open to suggestions like that. You guys always help me out a lot. Sometimes I've been given a suggestion that I followed through on and was really, really happy I did. I feel like it's give and take, I'm bringing stuff to you guys that you haven't discovered before. So when you comment and mention things, I really appreciate it and love that kind of feedback. Anyway, so much fun. I love this. All because of a John Byrne cover. And I was hoping he'd be in here somewhere, but I don't think he is. And I was thinking in preparation, I was like, oh, well, maybe he didn't have the time. And then I was like, yeah, right, Mr. like $4 a month or whatever the hell. I've always loved this font. I mean, you know exactly what it's supposed to mean when you see that font, right? I mean, doesn't that evoke a certain feeling for you? Artist Dave Morris, writer Dave Alicus. This is cool. I love this art here. I don't think there's any credits, but there's a signature at the end. Honestly, it looks a lot like John Byrne in a way, and I know that sounds silly, but like John Byrne always does these kind of stars And just some of the line work is giving me Byrne vibes. Obviously, it's not Byrne, but I mean, even just that, like that face there looks a little Byrne-esque. I'm wondering, I mean, I doubt it because it's signed Joe Manili. But now I got to see, I've got my work cut out for me, guys. I got to look up so many artists now. Rat Reborn by Tom Sutton and P.A. Flynn. Very cool. Very Corbin-like, right? I love this. I love the fat, juicy lines of the inks here. Looking all cool with some nice zip action in there. And then Namor pops out of nowhere. Love it. We are within the Marvel Universe in a way still, people. So, least not forget it. You know, it's funny because I don't know, like, they should do, I mean, do these humor mags really work? Like, I wonder how well, like, what this sold. Obviously, you know, with John Byrne, the John Byrne issues must have sold a lot more because he was, like, the superstar at the time. But, you know, do people in general like humorous takes on comic books? Like, I had that question with She-Hulk. You know, I felt like John Byrne did it in such a good way that he's still bringing you great superhero action and stories and throwing in the humor. I don't think the humor was completely necessary, but I didn't mind it, and there were some fun gags, and it was pretty revolutionary at the time, I guess, or at least it was something different within the parameters of a mainstream superhero comic book. So, writer Murad Guman and artist Dave Morris. Loving all these cartoonists. I'm just dying. Like, there's so many great cartoonists. I mean, I haven't even scratched the surface. I need to live for another 100 years to just discover all of the great cartoonists of the last 100 years. Don't worry. Nobody needs a 250-year-old comic book reviewer. So, anyway. This is a fun part right here. Do-it-yourself comic book. Writer Steve Skates. Artist Joe Bello, Terry Austin, John Buscema, Dave Cockrum, Armando Gill, Larry Hama, Alan Kupperberg, Bob McLeod, and Marshall Rogers. I mean, come on. Like, what a jam. Like, how great is that? I mean, and they're all represented on these 2 pages. I honestly thought that these were, like, lost pages from Alpha Flight number 6 by John Byrne, but alas, they're not. Clearly the Dave Cockrum art. I love this here. I love seeing Dave Cockrum's art in this kind of different format. I don't know. It's so funny because, like, Wolverine, Nightcrawler was his favorite. Like, I don't think he disliked Wolverine, but he never had, like, a great affinity for Wolverine. But I loved the way he drew the brown and orange costume, for one. And for two, I love, like, a smiling Wolverine just seems silly, right? And I'm wondering who's inking this. It's very, I don't know if it's Dave himself, but I'm appreciating all the zipatone happening here. And I think it's freaking cool. And then we have, is this Howard the Duck just popping in? Like, look at the rich, beautiful art there and all the fun textures with the zipatone. This magazine is like 40 freaking years old, y'all. Crazy, huh? From 1982. Love this. I just love this. And just to think that these were all, like, hand-lettered just hits me in the feels. Clearly, Terry Austin. This is another highlight of this book because Terry Austin is such a prolific inker, arguably one of the best inkers in comic book history. Always flattering, always great, always a great collaborator, but an amazing artist in his own right. And I think this is clearly he's penciling and inking this. I think it's funny because people are such big fans of the Byrne Austin X-Men. So much of it can be attributed to Terry Austin. I mean, in a way, and this is low-key bitchy, but like Walt Simonson said, it's like the penciler in a way has, and I'm paraphrasing, has like one of the most heartbreaking jobs because at the end of the day, you don't see any sign of their work. All their pencils are erased by the inker, and it's so true. So what you see is all Austin. I mean, of course, interpreting Byrne's pencils, don't get me wrong, you know, but in a way, isn't that kind of profound? I mean, he is Walt Simonson after all. But the point being is that Terry Austin is such an amazing artist. He's like, And I always say you should know how to draw everything if you want to be a comic book artist. And this is the perfect example of that. A landscape, a seascape, a cityscape. My favorite. I love cityscapes. And that is killer right there. Joker Burger. Hilarious. I love how the temptation to like always include the dynamic competition in a Marvel book always was like, friendly like back and forth between them, I guess. No, a volcano, raining pour, I don't know, pouring rain. I mean, I don't know. Terry Austin has a great sense of humor. I love his cartooning. Famously putting Popeye in the background of a John Byrne X-Men comic that kind of pissed him off. I mean, sure, but it's fun, right? Is that Wimpy and Popeye? So he became known for his Popeye, for better or worse. But I love Popeye, so crowd scene, mob scene. That is so fun. I love this. This is such great, beautiful Terry Austin work. Okay, Terry Austin. I've been looking for someone to give credit to what Ed Piskor refers to as the screen door shading. I'm going to give it to Terry Austin right here and now. He is the master of inking, the master of technique, the master of texture and precision. And that I've seen that on like Art Adams that he's inked and like just other people, even Byrne in the beginning. If you look at some of the space, as if on cue. Thank you. Thank you, art gods, for guiding my journey through this crazy magazine. Inner Peace, here comes Wimpy again. Love it. Lunar Landscape, Inner Tubes, Perth Amboy, New Jersey, Route 12. It is so random. I love it. And then here we come with this beautiful Hulk and Dr. Doom going toe-to-toe. And clearly, it's so weird because I never think of Dr. Doom as like a physical combatant. So it's kind of fun to watch him and the Hulk beat the crap out of each other here. I don't know, his outfit just doesn't seem really conducive to hand-to-hand combat with, the cape and the cowl and all that BS and the skirt and whatever the hell's going on, belted at the waist, big clunky gloves. I mean, it's metal. It's got to be heavy as hell. But, for nothing. I mean, it's nothing for the Hulk to, like, toss him around like that. But it's also funny, too, is because... And I think that's what I realized when you see, like, superhero movies. In comic books, they really, really beat the crap out of each other. And, sometimes they're not invulnerable, so they would all be dead, is what I'm trying to say. Beautiful John Buscema art. I feel like this can be continuing with the John Buscema art. And what a beautiful storm that is. I forgot to point out how cool and fun and how much I appreciate this being a question mark at a Storm's headdress. It's just fun and a thing of beauty, and they all look so good and cute. Right? Letter's Paradise right here. Sliving. I love this. Aunt May in the middle. This man, this monster. Let's see. Can I do this? I know I can do this. This man, this armpit. Can this be Gherkin? From the Rutabaga it came. The toilet and the fury. If this be altruism. I'm okay, you're a hot dog. The winter of our garbage. Aluminum on the beach. The dogs of doormat. And the sensuous sewer. That was fun. Play your own game. Pause it right here. As long as you let it play till the end afterwards. And then play your own damn word game. Okay. Page O Stuff. Michael Carlin's. Mike Carlin was all over the place here. No wonder why they didn't take him seriously at Marvel. Tune into this. Get 12 issues of Crazy for only $9 and no cable is required. Loving the art. I wish it was credited here, but lots of fun, great art. I'd imagine could be anybody. Anyway, how great is that? Commercials that drive you crazy, number 38. From pure bubbling springs deep in the earth. Well, oh yeah, pollution commercials. I don't know. Beautiful countryside. Tap water, nature's very best. Hysterical. Dick Coder. Great book, amazing, crazy, super special. Even if you just get it as a Byrne collector for the cover or an X-Men collector, I mean, look at that amazing, beautiful cover. Totally worth it. Hilarious. Teen Hulk, amazing. Jack Kirby being inked by Steve Ditko. What more do you need? Historical, amazing. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel, hit like, share my content, and I'll bring you more later.